G'day folks, welcome to a Thursday afternoon. A few little topics to cover tonight. I've got a bit of PC rambling and a big metal halide lamp, one of two that I'm picking up. They're a stadium light that'll accept these big 1200 watt Sunmaster lights, so they should be a bit of fun. But first, quite a few people wondering if I could delve deeper into this one here. That's pretty much a sealed unit. There's not much you can really do with that one, but they're robust as hell apparently, and given the knocks and dents this has taken, it's actually working quite well. I've run it a few times and it works fine. Hard drive, yet to check it. Thanks for recommending doing a full deep scan disk and all that sort of thing, or running a health, I think, crystal disk or whatever it's called. That'll definitely be done to see if the hard drive's still good, because it's barely been used. It's just been used as a network terminal, just like this one here, which came from a primary school. Thanks to Jay for pointing out which one. I know which one it is now, and I think I've already had computers from the local high school in that area. I think I should really buy a second battery for this camera and stop running this one so low. Can't be good for it. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Unfortunately, this board's not going to do what I want. I looked up the specs on it, and it's only a Pentium 4 grade board. It doesn't accept any kind of the Core2 series. It's only Celeron D, Pentium D, or Pentium 4, but the tech specs on the board itself only state the Pentium 4 series, and none of the other websites I looked at said the same thing either. It's a D915 PSY board slash D915 GAG, probably an identical board, just different codes. So it's not half bad, but it's not as good as I was hoping, because I've got a Core2 Duo, this one here, and that's a 2.8 gigahertz Core2 Duo. I think it's 7400 series or something. They're not half bad. That one I got from my friend in the US. Sent me my good graphics card that I'm running at the moment. Yeah, it's got 4 SATA ports, which is good, so I can ditch that IDE hard drive. It's probably damaged anyway. 4 RAM slots. It's PC 3200 RAM, so not DDR2. 16 speed, or 16 times 8 PCIe slot, which isn't bad. Just needs a new power supply or bigger one, and a good clean-up, refurb. Maybe even I might dig up an old Pentium 4 hyper-threading CPU. I should have some. I've definitely got one somewhere. I just don't know where. I've got a habit of just wrapping them up and chucking them on the shelf somewhere. But yeah, I'll definitely have a CPU for it. Ditch that. That's a crappy little power supply. The whole case, I'm just going to pull the board out. The rest of it can go in the bin. I'll keep the little fans from your mate in the States, and yeah, ditch the hard drive, ditch speakers. I think someone wanted the speakers out of this. I'll have to look that up. I think someone wanted those. They're tinny as hell, but they're kind of handy if you've only got your little desktop to mount them in. That's the only advantage to them, is that they're compact and you get better sound than the normal little inbuilt 2-inch speaker that they have these days. Or worse, when I was building some computers, all you had was a little piezo buzzer on the main board. That's pretty shocking. So yeah, but that thing there's definitely a keeper. I'll set that up on the shelf. Cleaned up nicely too. Can of good old tyre shine. I should rebrand these and sell them. Computer shine. Only thing is, it's slick. You can't really pick it up like that anymore. It'd be easy to drop it, but they come out nice. I wouldn't use it on every kind of surface, particularly this painted surface here, but it's quite handy for giving your old computer plastics a bit of a shine. It's actually recommended for plastics as well. Yeah, mud flaps, bumper bars, any external plastic and rubber. It's mostly just silicon. That's all it is, a silicon spray with a fancy name on it. So yeah. What else? We're going to look at the light next. The laptops and things I'll chew into later. I've got cars and things to work on too, but it's just cold and dark out there at the moment. The Ford's doing a funny little hunting thing when it goes back to idle. The revs will drop almost down to stall. I actually did stall this afternoon, and it'll just surge back up a bit, like not high surge, but just fluctuate between really low and just above idle, and then it'll settle down and just idle again. or if I 2-foot it, it'll keep doing it. So it's probably to do with an idle air control governor. Either it's stuck and not working, or there's a vacuum leak somewhere. Because I've been messing around in the engine bay, I first thought I might have knocked a vacuum line off or something like that, but they all look alright. So we'll look at it in broad daylight rather than torchlight. Yeah, I'm in the market for a laser thermometer as well. It's something I've been meaning to do for ages. And I don't mind spending a bit of money on one, but somehow I think $3,726 is a little bit much. The funny thing is the essential accessory is a $3.10 battery. It's yeah. It only goes up to 900 degrees. I wanted something that goes higher. I want to be able to point it at an incandescent surface and have it give me an accurate reading. I don't want it to just stop at 900. So I want a cheap one, but I want one that's going to read properly. Temperature range, that only goes up to plus 500, and that's a Fluke. Fluke's a pretty good brand, but yeah, some of the prices are crazy. $1,585 for the Fluke 572. 2,400 for that one. Yeah, they're all professional grade. Like, you'd want them to be dead accurate for calibration and like testing food temperatures and stuff like that, where you've got a $100,000 batch of stuff riding on the accuracy of that temperature thing. Those panel mounted controls, yeah. Seen plenty of them around. Quite expensive too, look at that, $680. My local CBC bolt and bearing joint, or bearing and power transmission joint, has them for about $50 I think, so I might as well just buy one of them to start with. And if we want to get into reading incandescent surfaces and things like that, I might just get a dedicated meter that goes, say, 500 degrees up to 2000 degrees or something like that. Yeah, it sounds like a better idea, because some of these prices are just ridiculous. Now, I think if I want something that's going to read incandescent temperatures, it only goes up to 800, but the accuracy is really good. Yeah, nah. I'll just get a cheapie for now. $50, $100, I don't mind. Not 175. Wouldn't be bad, but it only goes up to 500 degrees. In case you're wondering what the 50 Hz hum is, it's a contactor in here for the heat pump. There's 24 volts across here, obviously it's safe to touch, and the 24 volts controls the mains contactors in the back of this panel. One of them is a bit noisy. The iron core, well, originally it came out of a dead air conditioner I found at the scrapyard, and it already had water damage, like just a little bit of surface rust on the poles. And the surface rust obviously flared up again, and creates a slight barrier between the two iron laminated cores that come together, and they just start to vibrate and carry on. So I've got to pull it to bits, and I'll probably just put a new contactor in it. I've got some near new ABB contactors. I think the one that's in there is Telemecanique or S&S or one of those big companies. But either way, I'll probably just replace it. But that's what that 50 Hz hum is, or buzz. So yeah, back to the moving the light inside. It's bloody heavy. There we go. Now that's a real light. Forget about the pansy little ones, this is a proper light. 1100 to 1200 watts I believe. Still got to clean the glass and clean it up properly. You can almost see me in it. Hello. Yes, it's fairly serious. Only problem is they're rusted out, which is what the guy was saying. I'd say that'd be the bottom of it, and they were projected horizontally facing down on the lamp posts. Essentially stadium lights. They're probably from the local stadium or something like that. There's mounting studs on the bottom of it, and judging by the bird shit on the top of it, that's the top. So they're designed to face downward, but I imagine the burning position of the lamp doesn't really matter. Heat's only going to come up anyway. Glass is G. James quick tempered to Australian standards. It's float glass, tempered float glass. AS2206, license number 951. Interesting. So I've got to open this up and clean up in there, make sure there's no wet, crumbly crap covering electrical wires and actually make electrical connection. There's no wires hanging out of it. But the ballast is in there, and there should be a big capacitor or something as well as probably an igniter and other hot start stuff. So yeah, and I've got, this is one of two. The other one's still at the scrapyard. I didn't have room in the back of my car for the other one, but I'll pick that up tomorrow. And likewise, thanks to Brad, I have a number of these. Been meaning to find something to put into use, and that's what these are made for. This one's a, what is it? Doesn't say on anywhere. I think the markings are, oh no, there we go, Sunmaster 1100 watt. Yeah, nice and serious. Seems to be in pretty good order, the reflector anyway. It's just this missing sheet metal that's a problem, where the screws go in. I'm going to repair all that with some new sheet metal and it should be right. And the glass doesn't feel like it's going to fall out, it's just for safety reasons they obviously canned it. Being an overhead light, you don't want it falling to pieces and landing on people. The socket's in good order. It's a bit loose, but that'll all come out and get serviced. 2 bolts still holding it in. Well, I don't think Mr. Spider likes me cleaning out his home. It looks like a harmless garden spider though. I'll pop him outside. If it was a white tail or something more sinister, I'd probably squish it, but these little guys don't hurt anyone. You gonna move? Yeah, he's harmless. He's scared. He's hiding in the corner. Well, the control equipment looks pretty good. I'm giving it a bit of a look over and it's not too bad. Capacitor's a Cornell Debelia, or whatever you say, however you pronounce it, soggy foil type. Funny how they use the word soggy. No PCBs, protected whatever, made in USA, and there's a hell of a pile of rust in there, like handfuls of it. So I've got my recently restored Carrick vacuum cleaner out, so we'll suck all of that out of the cabinet and try and scrape off some of this excess flaky crap, close it back up and do a test run. I'll put a power lead on, of course. 240 volt single phase input. It's a constant wattage auto transformer, choke for 1000 watt metal halide or mercury lamp. Nominal input 1090 watts, made in Australia. Yeah, so we've got white goes out to lamp, active neutral. What's the cap for? The mains is going through, but neutral, no, we've got that there. So the cap's connected across the lamp. Maybe, oh there, 28 microfarad, 525 volt AC capacitor. So it's got to go through the cap, through the lamp in series. Not too bad. So it's all there, it's intact, just needs a damn good clean up. And a bit of rust repair in here. Probably never get used outdoors again because of the water ingress. Presumably through a gap in the casing up the top somewhere, but we'll see. Alright, let's give this vac a bit of a run. Haven't used it pretty much at all since I fixed it. Ate it all like a champ. And there's even more still under the base plate. Kerrick make a really good vacuum cleaner, I can tell you now. They're not cheap, but they're good. Up there with ASCO and all those other industrial manufacturers. The Pullman vacuum cleaners. We've got a Pullman janitor at work which has 3 motors in it. Something like 3 2,000 watt motors. The thing's insane. It's got a hose that big and you can suck up just bundles of stainless steel machine swarf and it doesn't even skip a beat. But it's a proper wet dry vac with a 30-gallon drum body. Anyway, I better put this camera on charge again. I keep running this battery short. I've got to get another one. I think the battery's life itself is actually diminishing. It's just taking a lot less time to hold charge. Alright, ready to go. I guess the only other thing to do is to turn the power on. Main breaker's on. Going live in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, look at that, it works. Not that there's really anything to it to go wrong. The ballast's pretty solid. It's going to take a bit to get warmed up, but it's going to start throwing out some serious UV. I'm going to face you over here. Try and stop it from falling over. This will take a while to get warmed up, but it eventually will. They rely on pressure inside the tube to intensify the arc, I believe. Heat is the main factor anyway. Once they're hot, they're bright, but when they're cold, well, it takes a bit to get going. Turn off some lights. Gradually getting brighter. It's a nice UV white light, and give it that much. Now it's getting bright. I'll give you a suntan standing in front of it. There you go, there's a view through the welder's mask. No, it's not very clear, but that is the arc itself. It's a lot clearer on the visor, I mean, without the camera, but it's just getting that bright even through the welding visor. The camera's having trouble with it. Yeah, you can't really see it, but the arc's sort of sitting up the top of the tube there. The camera's having a hell of a time trying to focus on it. But yeah, that's sort of at full brightness. Like someone let it set off an atomic bomb in the corner. That is bright. Yeah, no reflected light coming through, but you can definitely see the tube. Yeah, it's just a little bright. I'm going to let it burn for a while. I guess that's all for tonight, and thanks for watching.